Now, when it comes to Marvel and DC, there's been the occasional crossover, and likewise, that's seen some of the Avengers tangle with the likes of the Justice League. And should a full-on battle between these two groups happen again at some point, here's how we think that Iron Man would be able to defeat 10 of the greatest leaguers ever. So let's take a look at them. As I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and this is how Iron Man would defeat every Justice League member. Number 10. Green Arrow. The ever-tetchy Emerald Archer, Green Arrow is somebody who Iron Man would realistically get the better of with relative ease. Now, regardless of us being huge fans of Oliver Queen, it's tough to imagine him being able to get even close to taking down the Armored Avenger. Now, granted, the Master Bowman is prolific with his aim and can turn pretty much anything into a weapon, but that just doesn't cut it when it comes up against somebody who is as skilled and outright powerful as Iron Man. Tony Stark is smarter than Ollie, has a ludicrous amount of technology at his fingertips, can handily keep his distance from Queen, and is able to fire his own missile projectiles in the direction of Green Arrow and his trusty bow. It may sound harsh to say it, but Oliver Queen is likely the easiest Justice Leaguer for old Shellhead to face off against. In fact, the only way that the Arrow might be able to match or possibly better Iron Man is when it comes to firing off snarky quips. Number 9. Atom. In the case of the Atom, his core power involves being able to shrink down in size while still remaining extremely strong. To compare Ray Palmer to any of the characters who Iron Man is already familiar with, the two that immediately jump out from the pages of Marvel Comics are Ant-Man and the Wasp. Utilizing this knowledge of his Avengers teammates, Tony Stark definitely already has a one-up on Atom. Considering Palmer's size-altering abilities come from the White Dwarf star usually attached to his belt, Shellhead could feasibly hack into this and force the Atom to continuously shrink indefinitely until there's nothing left of this Justice Leaguer. On the flip side of this, there isn't much at all that Atom could do to Tony as part of his own offense. Stark has a collection of suits in his arsenal that are made from liquid technology, meaning that there aren't any natural cracks in the armor of these outfits for the Atom to get under Tony's skin. In particular, the Bleeding Edge suit literally serves as a second skin for Iron Man. This is a fight that the Atom simply cannot win. For Tony Stark, it's a matter of when, not if, he'd be successful in beating Palmer. Number 8. AQUAMAN. Key to Iron Man beating AQUAMAN is Tony Stark making sure to minimize the King of Atlantis' ability to use water to his advantage. On dry land, away from any coastlines, AQUAMAN is far less powerful than he is when swimming around in the seven seas. That said, the marine marvel is still one tough cookie, whether in or out of water. AQUAMAN is a godlike being, similar in approach and powers to Thor in some regards. And one thing that Thor has been able to do previously, of course, is literally crush Tony Stark's armor. One has to imagine that this is similarly something that Justice League's Atlantean would be able to do, but that doesn't mean AQUAMAN will get the W over Iron Man. As previously mentioned elsewhere on this list, Stark has the Bleeding Edge armor up his sleeve for any serious battles. Essentially, a liquid skin suit controlled mentally by the Armored Avenger, this would be enough to hold off any assault from AQUAMAN. Added to this, the uber-smart Shellhead would surely have some concussion missiles to hand to disorientate and take down his foe. Even better, those missiles would be even more effective underwater due to how quickly sound travels in such circumstances. Number 7. Martian Manhunter. Now, on the surface, the Martian Manhunter has a frankly outrageous amount of powers at his fingertips. For those not overly familiar with John Jones, he's a shape-shifting, telepathic, telekinetic, super-strong, heat-vision-firing being who can fly and turn himself invisible. By anyone's standards, this is quite the impressive laundry list of ability. But while he is an opponent that can topple most beings in the galaxy if allowed to tap into his unique skills, the one major weakness of the Martian Manhunter is a simple one: fire. To throw out a comparison, fire to the Manhunter is similar to what kryptonite is to Superman. So for Iron Man to get one over on the Bronze Wraith, he just needs to conjure up an absolute hellstorm of fire. And given the arsenal at his disposal, it wouldn't take much for Tony Stark to make some sort of explosive firework that would have the Martian quaking in his cape. Once fire has been thrown Jones's way, the fight would be over in a matter of seconds, and the Armored Avenger would be standing victorious. Number 6. Wonder Woman. In terms of abilities, Wonder Woman is likely the closest Justice Leaguer to Captain America, with that splash of Thor thrown in for good measure. Both the Amazon and the Sentinel of Liberty have superhuman strength and endurance. Both are master strategists and leaders, and both are pretty damn tough to kill. But whilst being tough to kill, both Diana and Cap have indeed perished over the years of the comics. Of course, comics being comics, said demises haven't exactly remained permanent. Still, the point stands that it is possible to get the better of Wonder Woman. Pulling a page from Batman's playbook in the opinion-splitting Tower of Babel storyline, Tony could use Diana's own will to win against her. Forever up for a good fight, Wonder Woman simply cannot say no to a battle. As detailed by The Dark Knight when compiling records on how to defeat each of his Justice League cohorts should they ever go rogue, the best way to stop the Lady of Justice would be to trap her in a simulation based around continuous combat. Given Iron Man's intelligence and resources, he could easily put together just such a machine to trick Wonder Woman into an endless fight with herself. Number 5. Superman. While the Marvel Cinematic Universe has popularized Iron Man's Hulkbuster suit, it may well be Tony Stark's Phoenix Buster that comes in handy should Shellhead ever butt heads with Superman. In a case of does exactly what it says on the tin, Stark's Phoenix Buster is capable of toppling the ridiculously powerful cosmic force known as the Phoenix. You know, as in the one and the same Phoenix that's been known to regularly turn Jean Grey into the most dominant being in the entire galaxy. As part of 2012's Avengers vs. X-Men crossover tale, Hank Pym helped Tony in creating what would be known as the Phoenix Buster. This particular suit is able to hold off the might of the planet-devouring Phoenix and is literally able to protect the universe. So while Superman is one of the true powerhouses of comics, the Man of Steel's iron will, heat vision, ice breath, super speed, flight, and enhanced strength would fall short against the smarts and resourcefulness of an Iron Man who has access to his Phoenix Buster costume. Now, Superman would not go down without a fight, but Stark has often been shown that he's prepared to be truly clinical and underhanded if necessary. As such, don't put it past him to have used his vast resources to unearth some green kryptonite to use against the big blue Boy Scout as well. Number 4. Green Lantern. If Iron Man is best advised to don his Phoenix Buster to fight Superman, then it's even more the case should the Shellhead square off with any of the numerous Green Lanterns. With their status as protectors of the universe, the Emerald Knights are some of the most powerful beings in DC Comics and beyond. The ring sported by a Green Lantern allows them to dream up anything they choose, whether that's a gun, a sword, or even a comically oversized fist. Of course, each and every GL has one major weakness. Despite having limitless abilities to their name, the Lanterns can be tripped up by yellow. For those comic book fans looking to throw shade in the direction of a Green Lantern over the years, the low-hanging fruit has always been to poke fun at how these near-invincible characters can be taken down by a color. Thus, Iron Man could pull a bunch of yellow-painted drones up or fire a yellow-infused light show if presented with the threat of Hal Jordan, John Stewart, Guy Gardner, and everyone else. Number 3. Batman. To some, Batman is the greatest hero in all of comics. At the physical peak of mankind, with one of the brightest brains on the planet and an entire fortune behind him, Bruce Wayne is a tough nut to crack, even for somebody as capable as Tony Stark. In a pre-arranged hand-to-hand fight, Batman would be the favorite of this battle. Given his methodical approach to, well, everything, time to prepare for such a stripped-back battle would allow the world's greatest detective ample opportunity to formulate a victory plan. But the thing is, any such meeting between Batman and Iron Man would feature the pair in their trademark outfits 99% of the time. And whilst the Batsuit has plenty of wonderful toys, it simply cannot hold a torch to any of Stark's armored attires, when assessed for practicality and sheer ability said suit gives its owner. Bats has been known to disrupt similar threats with electromagnetic pulse technology, but the catch here is that Iron Man's armor is immune to EMP interference. Added to this, the suits also give Stark the ability to fly, which could keep him at a safe distance from the Dark Knight. One other trick that Tony has in his back pocket for this encounter, if really needed, is his bleeding edge armor again. When wearing this, the nanite constructed armor, which is tethered to Stark's consciousness, is so powerful that it essentially makes him the most powerful human on Earth. Number 2. Cyborg. Tony Stark is a tech wizard, while Victor Stone, aka Cyborg, is a literal living, breathing piece of technology. Sure, one school of thought is that Tony and his genius could infiltrate Vic Stone's body and destroy it with some sort of advanced virus, but the problem is that Cyborg can connect to pretty much any piece of tech on the planet. For once, the Armored Avenger might find himself out of his depth when it came to tech-based attacks, but one way he could give himself a needed boost in this battle is that he could utilize the many satellites dotted up in the galaxy and call in reinforcements in the shape of his numerous drones. If, and it is a big if, Iron Man is able to distract Cyborg and infiltrate Stone's own system, he could feasibly look to pull Cyborg apart from the inside. It would be brutal, but separating the ravaged human body from the all-powerful tech might be the Marvel hero's only way to win out against Vic. In some regards, Cyborg is a fight that would be far trickier for Iron Man than the supposed bigger names like Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. And number 1, The Flash. Whether the Jay Garrick, Barry Allen, or Wally West version of The Flash, this Sultan of Speed could well prove to be Iron Man's greatest test were he to go up against the Justice League. Not just do these iterations of the Flash all have the obvious ability of super speed, being able to travel faster than both the speed of sound and light, but with these powers comes the capabilities to phase through pretty much anything. That means that Tony Stark in his wide array of suits could be in quite the pickle should he tangle with a Flash. If the Armored Avenger was to have any hope of taking down Flash, he would have to catch them on a bad day basically. Whereas Iron Man has the dependability of his vast array of outfits to choose from, the one mild downside of being the Flash is that his super speed can at times be an erratic force that fluctuates or even outright stops working. Other than that, Stark could look to whip up some sort of disruptor device or call upon his army of his patented drones to help overcome the Flash, but even then though, it's up in the air as to whether Iron Man could really topple this particular leaguer. And there we go my friends, that was how Iron Man would defeat every Justice League member. I hope that you enjoyed that, and please let me know what you thought about it down in the comment section below. As always, I've been Jules. You can go follow me over on Twitter at RetroJ, but the O is a 0, and it'd be great to see you over there. As always, I've been Jules. You have been awesome. Never forget that, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.